bigger, 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 bigger. You know we have to do it. Bigger, 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 bigger. You know we have to do it. They ain't see the vision, so we had to do it bigger. See it from space, now life in the villa. Got light-headed when she saw the whip. Left up all these bright lights, make you see the bigger picture. Way too kind, didn't know you was a giver. I got money on my mind, didn't think you were little. Cause I'm focused on the green like I'm trying to solve a riddle. When I told him pick a side, I can't see you in the middle, bro. Caution at the wind like you're throwing a tantrum. Love the sound that you cutting money, girl, that's an anthem. Now this ain't a gang, can't you see it's a fandom? And we didn't make plans, we just had to do it. Bigger, 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 bigger. You know we had to do it. Bigger, 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 bigger. You know we have to do it. Caution at the wind like you're throwing a tantrum. Love the sound that you cutting money, girl, that's an anthem. Now this ain't a gang, can't you see it's a fandom? And we didn't make plans, we just had to do it. Bigger. Bigger. You know we have to do it. Bigger. Bigger. You know we have to do it. Bigger. Bigger. You know we have to do it. Bigger. 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 You know we have to do it. You know we have to do it. You know we have to do it.
Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
Definitively know now that the Jaguars value big sexy over big ugly. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Friday edition, very exciting edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. Terry Norvelle here. Patrick Young traveling. He's got speaking engagements today in and around Melbourne today and this weekend. So not sure if he's in the car, if he's traveling, if he's speaking right now. We hope to hear from Patrick as we go, get his thoughts on what transpired last night. What do we have? 32 picks, round 1, round 2, and 3 tonight, and the bulk of the draft on Saturday. Brent Beaird should join us about 5 o'clock. We've got a lot of college football, basketball, and baseball. Big weekend now. Florida really counting the wins, trying to position themselves to get a postseason bid in baseball if they don't miraculously win the SEC baseball tournament and get the automatic bid. So we'll talk some college baseball, college basketball. Good news for Florida. Todd Golden gets a returning front court player coming back. It's been announced. We'll get into that. Major League Baseball, some neat storylines tonight. A really cool pitching matchup. Now, the cool thing is it's a great pitching matchup. The not so cool thing is it's a West Coast game. It'll be so late that I think we'll all look at highlights and see what happened. I'll tease you a little bit. Pirates, Dodgers. Yeah, the Pirates actually in a big game. That gives you a hint of who might be involved. Hunter, Travis Hunter, the pick for the Jaguars. As we welcome Zach Rothrock. Zach, we spent a couple of weeks, the last few weeks leading up to this draft, particularly the first round, and particularly the Jaguars. They were in that pivot position. They really were in that pivot position. Everybody kind of thought 1, 2, 3, and 4 would go, and they went to script. And I know I started saying it, and I think a lot of people said, if the draft stays calm, it will be in large part because the Jaguars just hold at 5 and make a pick, right? Is it going to be calm, or is it going to be chaos? I remember saying calm, chaos, and the Jaguars controlled it. Guess what? They leaned the chaos
Yeah, they went for Liam Cohen and the
Yeah.
new coaching staff. I was hearing the word right before the draft started. I kept on hearing the word fireworks. People
yes.
were teasing it, and I was like, okay, well, these guys obviously know that something's about to happen. I didn't realize that it was going to be our very own Duval Jaguars.
How about
making a
that?
big
Because
splash.
really, I mean,
And we got our very own Patrick Young in the program as well.
let's
bringing
get
him
Pat
in.
on. Pat, I know you've got some speaking stuff going on. Good looking shirt, by the way. Jump right into it, Patrick. All of us, quote unquote, experts, whoever we are, regional, local, national, we all talked about either the Jaguars holding at 5 or working a deal and trading back. Hardly any of us said anything about trading up, Patrick. They traded up to add chaos. What do you think? Take a few minutes and your thoughts, digest Travis Hunter and a big trade up. Not back, trade up for the Jaguars.
I mean, I think it's pretty exciting. I think everyone in Jacksonville is excited for a guy like Travis Hunter. Is he going to change the franchise in year one? I doubt that. What is it going to look like for him to play both sides of the field?
Yeah.
How are they going to figure? But you know what? I think it's and I talked to my buddy about it this morning. I said it's much better than the past projects the Jaguars have done in the past, where they try to get a guy to play a different position or do something different that they hadn't done before. Versus this guy has done it on the collegiate level. Mm-hmm. Will he be able to start right away and go full game, 120 reps a game? I don't think he'll start off that way, but I expect him to be in the 75 to 85 range in snaps per game. And again, he's not Denard Robinson. He's not Reggie Nelson. He's not Terrell Pryor, where those guys were quarterbacks or whatever position they're trying to switch him over. Yeah. He has played both of these positions his whole life.
Well, that's a good point.
His whole career.
This isn't Matt Jones. You're taking a quarterback at Arkansas and saying, well, he's tall and he's long. Let's make him a receiver. He never played receiver. This guy has played both. You know, another thing that will help Travis Hunter, if he does play a bulk of both sides of the ball, the NFL game generally has 10 to 15 less snaps on average than the college game. The college game is, there are much more up-tempo, really get to the line of scrimmage, snap-off plays. Much more college offenses do that than the NFL. The average NFL game has 125-ish total plays, both teams, right? 60-ish and 60-ish, right? The college game is more in the 75 each side. You're around 150 snaps. Does that matter? It can't hurt, I don't think. I don't think it can hurt. We might have lost Pat, and Zach, you can jump in.
He's here.
Pat, you get that, though? The college game averages about 15 more snaps a game. That can't hurt than the NFL game, if he's trying to play both ways.
Oh, I think your Pat. I think your mic became disconnected.
But
yeah, I can answer that while he's getting that situated. Yeah. So
how about now?
Yeah, go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, you got it.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
I lost my. Go ahead, Zach. Finish your thought.
No, you're good. So I think that he'll play roughly 70 to 80% of the snaps, but I think he's going to play 100% of the key snaps, the third downs, the 2-minute drills.
Good point.
And I think that he will be able to handle it, and I think that he will be able to. I mean, you can put him on the if any team needs a outstanding playmaker to play both sides of the field, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
I think they got the guy.
With regard to Travis Hunter playing on offense, do you almost have, if he does need a blow at some points during the game, you almost have to run him onto the field and tell him the play's not coming your way. Because
there might be some of that.
If all you do on offense is run him on the field and you force the ball to him, every time the defense sees him run on the field, hey, they're trying to get the ball to Hunter, right?
Yeah.
You got to have a way to kind of disguise it a little bit.
That what you're describing is that's almost what happened with the Steelers this past year with Justin Fields. It felt
right?
like we're bringing Fields into the offense. Obviously, he's got to run the football.
Who's the guy for the Saints?
Oh, Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill. He runs on the field. Hey, he's probably going to catch. He's probably going to catch the ball at the shotgun and run it.
Yeah.
Yes. So you got to find ways that you don't give it away, right? You can't totally give it away. Obviously, when he was on defense, you want to match him up with one of the two best receivers, and he's got to run with that guy. Here's the other thing that you do. If you're the other team and he's on defense, if Travis Hunter is hurting you on offense, you're playing defense, he's on offense, and you see him on the field on defense, what's the first thing logical that I would do? I would run my receiver on 9 routes. I'd say run down the freaking field and make him run with you.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that the logic behind that is that this kid is just different, and he's special, and he will not get tired, at least while he's still young. That is at least the thought behind
I'll tell you
that.
one thing, and Pat, you could jump in, Zach as well. Certainly, do I know of Travis Hunter? Sure. Started seeing him and hearing him at Jackson State. 2 years at Colorado, but I didn't follow him like crazy. Last night, I didn't realize how gregarious and kind of a happy-go-lucky guy. He seems like a fun. Man, his personality was just infectious last night, and it didn't seem fake either, did it?
No,
that's him, man.
I think he's a genuine football first type of guy. I mean, he's from Georgia. I saw this little excerpt. I think Sports Illustrated did it of him going fishing before the draft, and it seemed like it was very real. He talked about how he's really down for like country style cooking, like he mentioned all of his favorite foods.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's the type of guy that the city of Jacksonville can really relate to and get behind and make a star and be excited to go see. I think it's a really exciting pick. They had to give up a lot.
They gave
a
lot up, man.
They gave up a lot, but
they really did.
I personally think they got the best football player in the draft. I think Cam Ward will be a very solid quarterback as well.
Let me grab what you just said.
Yeah.
They got the best football player in the draft.
I think so.
Let me spin that off, and then we'll throw it to Pat and you. Did they get the biggest need for their franchise on that pick?
I mean, I think
because I say no.
Yeah, you could always use more you could always use more offensive line, more defensive line. That's eating your vegetables and getting your potatoes in.
Pat, your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Did he best football player in the draft? But did they get the best fit for what their franchise is and needs right now, Patrick? I don't think so. And I've gone big.
I don't think they got the number one. No. They have not answered their number one problem, which is they're in the trenches.
Their lines of scrimmage.
And I wouldn't be mad at them if they go either way with what they would have gotten a new guard, a new left tackle, or even a defensive tackle. Definitely need a defensive tackle. Yeah. Definitely need a DT.
Isn't it? Let me back up. What the city a ball handler, receiver, quarterback, running back. A ball handler is always going to be sexier to the fan base than a big trench guy. Okay,
100%.
With that said, if the Jaguars made the exact same move last night with the Browns, okay, the picks are swapped, the first round pick next year is going, everything's the same. But when the Jaguars got to the podium, if Goodell said, after this trade, at number 2, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Will Campbell, tackle, LSU, if they use that to jump New England to get the best lineman in the NFL draft, that would have fit, because I've been a big ugly guy. I think that would have fit the need of this franchise right now, but I don't think the city would have been on fire like it is right now.
It would have, yeah.
That would have fit, though, more, I think.
Yeah, and I think he's going to go on to have a really good career in New England, and people are going to pretty quickly forget about his alligator arms.
Yeah. Pat, how ironic is it? Mason Graham and the Jaguars were joined at the hip for about 2 months, and then there was a breakup. Remember, Graham just kind of drifted away, right? Where did Graham go? Mason Graham, he's talked about how about all in all, Mason Graham, guess what? Went 5th. He went in the 5th spot where the Jaguars were at all along. Isn't that weird? He ended up going 5. Now, the different team, but he went 5.
Yeah, he went in the slot. Yeah, I think Patrick's muted at the moment.
Okay, we'll catch up with. But how ironic is that?
He didn't really ask me a question there.
Yeah. But how ironic is it that Graham was hearing February, March, April? Graham was hearing number 5. No, Then he got out of number 5, right? Everybody got off of Mason Graham at 5 with the Jags. Damn it if he didn't go 5. He didn't go to the Jags, but he went 5.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the smoke screens. There's always you can never tell what's really happening and what's not as far as information pre-draft. As far as that goes, I mean, that's just another example of that. And you would feel good if they got either of those offensive linemen.
Yeah.
And it would probably be better for the team. But, I mean, no, this is way more fun, especially for us. Like, come on.
Here's another one I want to play. What if? And really the only way we could ever truly answer this is if we have a personal relationship with Gladstone or Cohen or one of the coordinators or Baselli. Okay, let's assume that the Browns and the Jaguars don't do a deal and everybody holds tight. Would the Jaguars have drafted Genty, or was that a smokescreen? Wouldn't you love to know that? If nothing changed, were they just smokescreening Genty, or would they have taken him? I'd love to know down the road. If you had a beer with one of those guys 3 years from now when it doesn't matter, hey man, back in back in 25, if y'all didn't work a deal with the Browns to get a Hunter, were y'all set on Genty? Were you going to take Genty at 5? Wouldn't that have been fun to know, Pat? Zach, that'd be like. Fun to know.
Why do you think we can't ask them that?
I don't think right now they would answer that honestly. We got our guy. We don't want to talk about that. But down the road, it'd be fun to know if the Browns didn't dance with the Jaguars and Hunter didn't come here and they stayed at 5, was Genty a smokescreen, or were they going to get him, or did they have a trade back in place?
It almost feels like with them doing this to trade up for Hunter that they wanted to make a splash, and it almost feels like they potentially would have taken Genty.
Interesting thought, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
How much was it smokescreen? How much was it real? I think Cleveland has the first pick tonight, right?
Yeah, they got the first pick. I personally anticipate them going Shedeur Sanders.
Same here. I think Sanders goes.
Which that is the betting favorite at this point if you check the market.
Has anybody? Yesterday I threw out this. I said, man, I just hope if Sanders.
I'll be back, guys.
Okay, you're good. You're good, Pat. I know you're heading to a speaking engagement, a couple speaking engagements today and this weekend, and so we'll have Pat in and out. Let me think where my train of thought was. With Sanders. With Shedeur. Remember yesterday I said, listen, if Shedeur Sanders keeps dropping, I hope Deion doesn't make an ass of himself because a camera's going to find him. I haven't seen anything where Deion has made an ass of himself today or last night. Did you? Did I miss it? Has Deion?
I don't think he said anything. I can check the Twitter sphere real quick, but
don't you hope
he's pretty humble and quiet about the whole thing?
Yeah, and don't you hope for Shedeur's sake, at some point Deion's got to quit fighting Shedeur's battles.
Right.
Don't you agree with that? I mean, Shedeur now is 22 years old, and he's about to be able to pay all of his, not that he wasn't with NIL, but you get my point. He's about to pay his own bills and get his own mortgage. At some point, I hope Deion, if Deion comes out swinging the next time a camera's in his face, Deion, you're embarrassing yourself and you're making Shedeur look bad. I hope Deion doesn't embarrass his kid.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen him do it yet, so I don't want to, go ahead and pre-criticize him for what he hasn't done.
Yeah.
I mean, he just on his Twitter he did like he normally does, and he posted a Bible quote this morning. Yesterday he did agree that Dan Orlovsky was being a hater when he was saying that Shedeur Sanders may not go in the first round. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's not that bad. I think he's being relatively quiet and humble about the whole thing. I think
because Deion last couple of years could have easily last night or this morning seen a TV camera and gone off.
Oh yeah, he could go live at any moment.
And again, man, Shedeur's 22 years old. Deion, you gotta quit fighting his battles. You've got to quit. You're making your kid look bad as you keep fighting his battles.
Right, yeah. And I mean I think that he mostly realizes that. I mean he's not quite a LeVar Ball in that sense. Yeah, he's a few notches below that, I think. And yeah, I mean and I don't think Shedeur's said much publicly. I haven't seen him on video or anything. I think he's just kind of patiently waiting. And I anticipate that his name's going to be the first name called tonight. And I really hope it is, because if it's not, That's going to continue to be the story for the whole night.
Really
and
is.
that's going to be anything that anybody talks about.
It's funny you said that. I read something, might have been on The Athletic this morning, and there was an article that said, what a shame that Cam Ward last night, you know, that first pick of the first round, that 1 of 1, that's supposed to get the shine. That's really, and when it's a quarterback in the NFL, that really is. Cam Ward didn't get a lot of shine last night. The article said, gosh darn, the whole night was focused on Shedeur Sanders as it got going.
It's all about him.
It was all Shedeur. What a shame Cam Ward really didn't get his shine last night. I mean, it's not worth anything, but you're supposed to get that shine as the 1 of 1.
Yeah, and I mean, frankly, I don't think that Cam Ward personally cares that much about
don't
that
either.
sort of thing. That's
don't
probably
either.
part of the reason why he's going.
Now, his agent might, who wants to call
for sure.
Chevrolet and McDonald's and Pepsi, right?
Yeah, especially when you're going to Tennessee, where it's very easy to be forgotten about really quickly. I mean, he could be the most quickly forgotten about first-round pick in a long time.
He could be. Now, starting to look at both sides, again, I was consistent for 3.5, 4 months once that Super Bowl was over in February, March, April. I think this team needs desperately line of scrimmage help. Offensive line, interior defensive line. I coined the phrase for 3 months. I would go big ugly, not big sexy. With that said, to be a little bit of a Debbie Downer, as exciting as it is for this town and this franchise, Travis Hunter is here. That pick last night did nothing to help the lines of scrimmage for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, nothing to help the lines of scrimmage. They don't have a pick in round 2 unless they trade. They've got a couple in round 3, and there's nothing else to do in free agency, right? That's over. Are you going to fix your?
Mostly.
You're going in with it. The offensive line is what it is now, right? I mean, the odds of drafting in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th round and hitting an absolute offensive line home run is very minute.
Pretty low.
Is very, very minute. So some of the other things, the other side, being both fence guy, help me out with this, Zach. Couple things. Number one, they have done nothing to help their line of scrimmage. Number 2, at some point, I think is it at this year or next year, the Trevor Lawrence big money against the cap starts hitting. It hasn't quite hit yet, but it's about to start hitting.
Yeah, that sounds right. I think this will be the 5th year.
Another thing that hit me this morning, that cap can be cruel. There's a reason that cap's in place, to balance and give parity. So all of a sudden, and I know Travis Hunter will get a rookie contract, but he's going to get a lot of money. All of a sudden, on the books, the Jaguars are going to have a very recent number 1, another very recent number 1, and a very, 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 very recent number 2. Aren't those 3 contracts going to eat up a lot of your cap space?
Yeah, I mean, you could pretty quickly get into the situation the Bengals are in right now, where they're all going to 3 guys, the quarterback and 2 receivers. I mean, you want to have great players, so you want to have to play great players.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter's going to demand a special type of deal because he's going to have
2-way player.
Yeah, he's going to deserve.
You got to play that up. You got to
Yeah.
play it up.
Oh yeah, I'm sure his agent's already plotting out ways to get that to work. And yeah, I think that the GMs, the front offices, paid attention to the Super Bowl this past year because 16 of the top 32 picks, all the first round, they were offensive line and defensive line.
Yeah.
And that's not even counting 2 tight ends and several linebackers as well.
Yeah.
So I mean the meat and potatoes guys got selected, and the Jaguars did go outside, but I think that he is as advertised, and he will be a special player. It's just, I mean, yeah, you're right that they do need to. Everything else that they have needs to be thrown at making the offensive line better.
If you're pretty much, unless they get crazy lucky, they're not the offensive line. What they got's what they got right now, and I don't think it's very good. Now, with that said, what if 2025 does expose again the Jaguars' offensive line is terrible? Well, going into the 2026 draft, how do you fix the offensive line? Well, you can make a trade or free agency. They probably won't have a lot of money. Oh, by the way, next year's first-round pick's gone.
Yeah.
You can't get the Will Campbell next year at 3, 4, 5, 6. You won't have that pick. You won't have a pick. So I thought I would have gone big ugly. And I also think they gave up a ton to get him.
Yeah, giving up that's
a ton to get him.
You need him to hit and be a great player on both sides of the field. You will need that because he's taken up 2 first-rounders as well as I think it's basically a 4th and a 6th or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. That is a king's ransom to come up and get somebody.
Jaguars gave up number 5 in the first round, number 36 in the second round. They're number 126 in the 4th round, and wherever their number 1 falls next year. So that's what they gave up. They got the number 2 this year, which turned into Hunter.
Right.
They get this year's Cleveland 4th round, which is 104. And they get Cleveland's this year 6th round, which is 200. They gave up a lot. They gave up a lot.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, and the biggest being obviously the first rounder for next year.
That's the biggest.
Right.
And not having a second rounder this year. They were going to go, they would have, if they stayed pat, they would have gotten 5 and 36. Now they got 2 and 80 something. They've got 2 picks in the 3rd round. I can't remember where they're at. 70 and 88, I think it is. Something like that. Nothing in the second round. A little spooky, too, not to have a second round pick. Because,
70, 88.
From 3 through 7, doesn't it? 1 and 2, you can. 1 and 2, obviously, your odds are much better hitting on good players than 3. 3 through 7, to me, starts becoming a crapshoot. I think 3 through 7. It'd be nice to have a second round pick. They got nothing tonight. Now, I heard some guys say, well, Gladstone looks like a wheeler dealer. He may package to trade back up. What are you going to package? I mean, how much is somebody going to give you? We'll give you a 3rd and a 4th rounder for a second. No.
Yeah, that's the thing about these fantasy trades that people make up. Like, you got to find someone that agrees to it.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. I mean, it's very the knee-jerk reaction, and it's very easy to say that the Browns won the trade. I mean, even just getting this first in the second round and then following up with a 4th in the second round back-to-back, I mean, that can end up being huge for them. And they already got an interior defensive lineman to go beside Myles Garrett. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and assume they get Shedeur Sanders, so they get their potential quarterback of the future. I mean, they just really could be huge for them. But now what I don't agree with, though, is I've kind of seen the asinine take. It was from particularly this NFL statistician guy, Warren Sharp.
Okay.
He basically said that, even if the Jaguars were to win the Super Bowl and the Browns, the pick was pick 32, the Browns still win the trade. And I'm like, well, what? No, if the Jaguars are good
no.
Yeah, well, if the Jaguars are good enough to win the Super Bowl, it's because of Hunter.
You could have my next 32-year picks.
Yeah, exactly.
If you give me a Super Bowl.
Right, and that's just, I don't know, that's just...
Yeah, that was dumb. He probably didn't, he probably wanted to, it was going out of his mouth and he was pulling it back.
Yeah, I think that's just someone that's just too deep into the analytics and not, like, looking at things rationally at all. But, I mean, if you were to look at all the different scenarios that can play out and things that are most likely, I mean... You have to say that it's most likely that the Browns probably do come out on top on this trade, even if Travis Hunter is an outstanding player. That's what's tough.
My social today, comparing who got the better, who fleeced who. That was the word I read a lot. Some people would say they fleeced them. I saw more Jaguar got the better than Browns, but I was on more Jaguar-friendly stuff. If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I was on more, but I did read quite a few Jaguar-friendly sites that had Jaguar fan going, man, we gave up too much. I did see that, but most of my stuff read Jaguars fleeced the Browns, but again, I was on more Jaguar platforms.
Yeah, and I mean, I hate to be down the middle guy, but I mean, I kind of think it's somewhat both.
Yeah.
I think they did. I think they got the pound for pound best player in the draft, and I do think the Browns also got a major haul that could set them up for the future.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you're the Jaguars, I mean, you need a Showtime type guy. You need a prime time type guy. You need someone that's going to sell tickets and sell jerseys, and he's one of those guys. And he plays both sides.
Yeah.
If he's great at both, then you got to. an all pro caliber player on both sides of the ball with one pick. Like, I don't know how you can beat that.
Yeah. We'll go to break in a quick second. I haven't busted the entire first round down myself to where I can give you who I thought won the first round, who came in second. I will say this. I was reading something. This was impressive, and you're going to have to help me with this. I can't remember the third player, but my gosh, in terms of defensive line now, the New York Giants, help me with their they've got Thibodeau.
Yeah, I think they still
They've
have
got
Dexter
another guy,
Lawrence.
and then who?
Dexter Lawrence. I think they still have him.
One more guy. Yeah, pull their defensive line up.
Abdul Carter's drafted.
That's the one I'm going to add. But right now, they got Thibodeau, one other stud, and they're adding Abdul Carter to this thing.
Yeah.
Can you help me find that real quick? I can't remember who that other guy currently on the team.
I really think it's Dexter Lawrence. Yeah, I'm looking up their D-line right now.
I saw something that said, or did they get? I'm like, they have a great looking defensive line now with you.
Oh yeah.
Add Abdul Carter in there. Add him in there. Have you had a chance to? I haven't. Give a AFC South. Did the Jags? Did anybody in the South go? Have something stupid? Obviously, we know the Titans where they went, but and there's only one round, I guess, so we can't really tell. Has anybody in the South gone meteorically past the Jaguars? New players, I guess, with just one round. We can't do that yet, right? We need more rounds.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people definitely like that Tyler Warren, the tight end that fell to the Colts.
I do too. I was stunned. Not that Loveland is not a good player.
Joins us.
Not that Loveland's not a good player, the Michigan guy. He went ahead of Ty Warren. I thought Ty Warren was the best tight end out there.
That's what a lot of people thought, yeah. But people were really into Loveland's potential deep threat plays capability, almost like a Kyle Pitts type, but not as big. Though.
Pat, I'm liking that shirt you got on there. Florida softball?
Thanks, man.
I'm liking it.
Switched it up. Florida softball.
Hey,
They got a
Gator.
big series coming up next weekend against Oklahoma.
Ooh, Big Bad Oklahoma comes in. Hey, great news. We knew it was coming, but great news officially. Thomas Houck is definitely coming back. He made the announcement yesterday, today. We expected that, right? But it's just nice to be 100% Houck coming back. Don't you think he is in line to have a monster season next year, I think?
Can he not still do the thing where like you go through the draft process and get some feedback and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think maybe he's already got his stuff back, or maybe he's just convinced. But he came out and said he's coming back. He is definitely coming back. He is a guy, I don't want to put too much pressure. I think Thomas Houck next year will just be meteorically even better than he got better every minute of the season, didn't he? I just?
Yeah, he did. He just needs to start the season off strong because he was a little bit slow this year and last year. But if he starts strong, oh my goodness, his potential is,
and what was he, Pat?
really high up there.
I know you don't have the stats, nor do I, but what was he? He probably averaged about 20 minutes a game, right? Wouldn't you say?
Probably right around there. I wouldn't say much more than that.
I think he's nearly a 30-minute a game guy, and I think with that extra with an extra 10 minutes. He'll put up big numbers. I think he'll put up bigger numbers. I think he's a star in the making.
Player, man.
Great pickup.
Where is he from? Maine? Not Maine.
Connecticut, maybe, or
Connecticut. One of those small. He's up north.
Yeah, definitely.
New Hampshire.
It might be New Hampshire. This is a terrible thing for me to say, but I'm saying anyway. The way he's going to develop, I think Thomas Houck, and this is going to be terrible to say, I think he could be a poor man's Cooper Flagg. He's got that kind of game. He's about 6'9". He runs like Flagg. Now, Flagg's in a whole different stratosphere. But I think Houck is kind of the way I think he's going to progress next year. I think he'll be a poor man's Cooper Flagg. I know that's a terrible thing to compare.
It's not that it's terrible. I do think it's inaccurate because Cooper Flagg, he handles the ball. Yeah. And look, Thomas Houck is a great passer too. It's they're similar body types, but I'm not saying that he can't. Thomas Houck's not going to be special. It's just their game is just a little bit different. He's not as like Cooper Flagg is very physical, especially when he has the ball attacking the rim.
I agree.
And he's got that great even though he missed it against Houston, he's got that great little turnaround fade shot. So I like to see the growth of Thomas Houck. I think he can be a guy that handles the ball a little bit more. But he doesn't have to.
Yeah, you're right.
Have to.
You're right, though. You're right. Right now, Cooper Flagg goes 94 feet, weaving in and out of traffic and handling. He's got for 6'9", he's got a nice handle, man. Real nice handle.
Yeah.
He's a good player. He is a really
He's
good.
He's going to be great in the NBA.
Boy, yeah, as we take a break, guys, we'll get into it on the other side, and then we'll have Brent Beaird about 5 o'clock. You want to know why SEC football's so good? Look at that first round. Look at that first round. We'll go over that. And why the good college football teams are good college football teams. Well, guess what? They got good players. Look at the first round. We'll break it down when we come back. The Young and Norvelle Show cruising on a Friday afternoon right here on Action Sports Jack. The real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation, pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey, back we are here. Terry Norvelle, Feel Good Fun Friday. Draft is finally here. A couple more days of draft talk. And then we'll start looking at, gosh darn, we'll have some mini camps, some voluntary mandatory. Then we'll kind of get to July. And then, man, it'll be here. It'll be here before you know it. Hey, real quick, before we get back to some sports talk, let me give you an idea of what the good folks over at Norvelle Realty can do for you. They understand that buying or selling a home is more than just a transaction. It is a life-changing experience for most of us, the biggest transaction we will undertake for most of us in our life. That's why the team over at Norvelle Realty, they are comprised of highly seasoned real estate professionals dedicated to providing exceptional personalized service for all their clients. I can vouch for these folks. I've known Lee Norvelle a long time here in our area. Great relationships. They know the home you're looking for. They'll get it in front of you, or they will help you sell your home. Either way, buying or selling. Norvelle Realty, obviously, great relationships with lenders. That's a big part of buying a home. You got to get it financed. You got to get financed fair. That can be a big mistake if you go the wrong direction. Go with people that have experience. They know what they're doing. Norvelle Realty. You can contact my buddy Lee Norvelle and his staff, 904-388-4400. Norvelle Realty, 904-388-4400. Patrick Young stirring around, busy with a speaking engagement. Pat, Ohio State, no coincidence, they win the football national championship. They had 4 first-rounders, man. That's how you win. That's how you win games, man. 4 first-rounders. And,
absolutely.
Man, and they're not done yet.
Emeka Ibuka, who do you remember all the?
Yeah, Donovan Jackson, I think that's a big offensive lineman. Tyreek Williams, a defensive lineman, and Josh Simmons, offensive lineman. Just a bunch of big, good football players. And they're going to have a bunch where the 2 running backs are going to go.
They still got that big Jack Sawyer. I thought
Sawyer,
he might be a first rounder.
The defensive end, he'll go. The 2 running backs will go probably tonight, second and third, between the old Ole Miss guy, Judkins, and then Henderson. They're not done. Georgia had 3 first-rounders, and Alabama had 2. Hey, did y'all see there's a stat out there that says Georgia, depending on tonight and tomorrow, Georgia may set the record. I think Alabama, holds the record right now in a 4-year period, a 4-year class period. Alabama holds the record. They've had like 147 players drafted in a 4-year period. Right? Isn't that amazing? Just some, or 5 years, or there's a period. Georgia has a chance to break it. They're sitting like at 136, but they've got like 15 guys that might get drafted, so that would take them ahead of Alabama even. And they've already had 3 drafted, but man, the rich get richer, man. Isn't that funny, Pat? You win a lot of games, and a lot of good players want to come your way, don't they?
I think good players come your way when you got a program that shows that your guys are going to the NFL.
Yeah, and
can't guarantee wins, but you can guarantee that we can get those guys the best chance.
I tell you what, man, you're right about that. You are right about that, Pat. Are you? I'm a very timid draft follower now. Tonight and tomorrow, I won't be glued at that thing. I'll wrap it up on Sunday, kind of backtrack. Are you a guy, you don't go out of your way to follow, do you, the next night or two?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Zach, how about you? Are you
nothing other than like just checking on my phone every now and then?
Yeah, days 2 and 3 are exactly that. They're like a have on in the background while you're doing other things and just check in and out. And
but I hate to say it because he's gotten too much publicity. Shedeur Sanders is the story again tonight, right?
Yeah.
I personally will be tuning in to make sure he goes first because yesterday before the draft started, I put $10 at plus 700 odds that Shedeur Sanders would go to the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, boy.
And I do think that is exactly what's going to happen.
I'm trying to look at some of the I got a list here, and there's a bunch of these lists out, and they're all a little bit different, but best day 2 still on the board, guys. I'm just trying to see if there's any names that we kind of know of.
Nick Emanwari, safety from South Carolina,
nice player,
who should have had a pick 6 against LSU, in
nice
my
player.
Personal opinion, but he got called back due to controversy. But, it is what it is.
He is a nice player. And South Carolina always has these guys with foreign names, defensive backs with long arms that are really good.
They got a few of those guys, for sure.
Yeah, he's this Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan. A lot of people are high on. I mentioned running back Quinshawn Judkins, Ohio State. Remember, he was the Ole Miss guy for 2 or 3 years. Good player.
Oh, yeah.
Good player. I think he gets called tonight. His teammate at Ohio State, Travion Henderson, nice player. You guys remember Luther Burden receiver, Missouri. Real nice player. He ran a little slow though, I think. And
yes, same thing with that Restrepo from Miami. He ran like a 4.8.
could y'all believe that? I couldn't. You remember?
I think, yeah,
Patrick, you remember him? That little
injured.
slot receiver, number 7 from Miami, I think he is. Played 1 million years down there. Caught 1 billion. They said he ran like a. What was it, Zach? You just said.
I think it was a 4.8.
I can't. I've seen him play.
They said he was injured.
He had to be.
Yeah.
So why run? You shouldn't have run.
Yeah, you got to keep that under wraps. Yeah.
But, Zach, you saw that guy play. And, Patrick, you probably remember that guy. He tore up Florida in the swamp last year. But he played there like 4 years. I can just watch him and go, he's on his slowest day, he's 4.6. On his slowest day.
Yeah. Something was off. He's got to have better people around him to protect him from himself and not allow him to run if he's that injured. Because all it does is just raise red flags and questions.
I thought that was one of the I thought that was one of the storylines from that combine.
Oh yeah.
Or if I don't know if it was the combine or his pro day. I think it was the combine. When I saw him, I go, "What in the world? That little slot guy, he's faster than that."
I mean, he was their best receiver on a team that had a quarterback that ended up going number 1.
Yeah. What about?
He's their all-time best receiver.
He was. Yeah, he caught a lot.
Yeah.
Pat, didn't he? He caught a lot of passes at Miami because he's there 4 years, I think. He
Yeah.
caught a lot. Hey, was it Patrick? Zach, I think you asked Patrick and myself earlier this week. I think it was you, Zach, that said, "Okay, guys, you've got to take a quarterback. These two: Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart." And I think both Pat and I both immediately said Jackson Dart. It proved out last night, I guess, a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's what the Giants said.
Yeah.
In fact, they moved up to get him. A few years ago, I thought that Jackson Dart was going to be a great prospect, and I was excited to see what he was going to do. But, I mean, as I saw what he was doing, he just screams to me like he just looks like Zach Wilson with less strong of an arm to me.
Ooh.
I could be wrong. That's just what it looks like to me personally.
I will say I understand what when I first saw Dart a couple 3 years ago, I thought the same thing. I go, wow, this guy can really throw it. And I do think he leveled off at a point, but then I thought he improved last year. I thought he got back better than he leveled off, if that makes sense. And I know he had a weird game against Florida, but I thought he did level off, but then he got better. He got back to the old Jackson Dart. I like him. I think he's a gamer. I think he makes plays.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because that Lane Kiffin, that Ole Miss offense is so good at getting open receivers, and they have a lot of talented receivers. And I don't want to knock a guy for being good at timing and throwing into open receivers.
Yeah.
It's just hard to evaluate someone who's in such a position.
I agree. Patrick and Zach, speaking of Lane Kiffin, I'll never get tired of seeing him. Obviously, he's his own coordinator pretty much. He draws up the plays. He roughly calls the game plan and all. Is there anything better when Kiffin draws up a pass play, sends it in, and it's working to perfection, and Kiffin on the sideline can see it's working to perfection, and he throws his play sheet up in the air when it goes for a touchdown? Isn't that great?
Yeah, he's not great at concealing his emotions if that's what he's going for.
But he'll do it when he can tell when the receiver that the play is called for, everything worked, and he's wide open at the snap, and he just go, and he'll start running down the field and throw his clipboard. Yes, touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, he gets them open a lot, and they're successful a lot, and he's a great coach, and that's why I say it's hard to evaluate his quarterback.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Mike Leach's quarterback.
Yeah.
It was always hard to know if they were going to be good.
That was a knock on Coach Spurrier. His quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, yes,
that was.
exact same thing.
Spurrier drew it up so well that if it got executed, and man, I know Shane. I'm not picking on Shane or anybody or Danny or all these guys, but it was kind of thought, Pat, you'll get this. Coach Spurrier drew it up so well, if it was executed, and that includes the offensive line, if everything was executed, a damn monkey could make the throw. It was. You didn't need a huge arm because your guy, if he could hit a spot on the field, the guy was going to be there.
Oh, yeah. If you understood the defense and the timing of the offense and you could throw – I mean, Shane talks about that all the time. Anyone could work the offense if you had a decent arm and you understood the offense.
Is that what he said?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's why it's hard to evaluate these guys because the NFL is more about tight windows, one-on-one matchups. You got to be able to thread the needle consistently.
Yeah, and I don't think in college – in the NFL it's 11 offense, 11 defense. I don't think you win a lot of the 11 on 11 as much in the NFL as the 11 on 11 on a particular play in college. You may overwhelm 8 of the players on the field. You're one-on-one. You know what I mean? Everybody does a one-on-one kind of thing. Your 8 may win. In the NFL, it may be a push. You may get 5 winning, but you're right. I don't think those windows are open. Those NFL guys don't get open that much. And there's a reason. The reason you don't see as many, you don't see a lot of. If you think about the NFL game, the passing game, the NFL, you don't have many 60-yard bombs, ball in the air. I don't mean catch and run. I mean true bombs. You still see that in college. Guys get back and throw it to a wide open guy 60 yards down the damn field.
I mean, it's a combination of the DBs being too good and too fast, and the defensive linemen being too good and too fast.
Yeah,
and there's just not enough time to do that between those two.
Time or space, but in college you still see a guy, a post move just running by, and he catches a ball that was thrown 50 yards in the air. You don't see that in the NFL very often.
Oh, yeah, and you'll do a post corner and just throw it before it even breaks because you just know it's going to be open.
Yeah. Both of you, tonight, if the Jaguars, I don't think they're going to package a bunch. They may try. They've got, 5 or 6 picks tonight, right? They got 3 in the third, 2 in the third, a couple in the fourth. Do they go all line of scrimmage? What do you think their philosophy is the rest of the way?
Well, I think it's just the second and third tonight, which they
So they'll have 2 tonight in the third.
Exactly.
What if they stay at 70 and 88, I gotta believe.
I think we need a new safety.
I've heard that too.
Safety.
I've heard that too. Is that what you think, Zach? Any thoughts on where you would go if you were?
I mean, if they're so trade happy, if you could somehow package them both together and reach up into the second round and get the best lineman you can potentially get, I would like that.
Man, if they could pull that off.
But, just going along the theme of they need to expand as many assets as they can to improve their line as much as they can.
Yeah.
I think that's what. But if you can't do that, then just safety, and then just probably best lineman available in the third. It just won't be nearly as good, most likely.
I'm trying to look at this first round and think the biggest surprises for me. I'll go back to the tight end position. Not that Loveland, I've seen him play at Michigan over the years, but man, I would have thought dollars to donuts that Ty Warren would have been the first tight end. Now, he impressed the hell out of me in the playoffs. You guys, same way?
That kid's so good.
Man, he's good. But he went second, right? He was the second tight end taken behind the Michigan guy.
Yeah, I mean, he was Penn State's entire offense. They were just leaning on him time after time. But, I mean, people got Loveland's just ability to do deep balls. I mean, that's what the NFL is all about, is these receiving tight ends. The Colts got a guy with Warren, and they got him later than most people thought they would go.
Yeah. What do you make about the comments the McMillan receiver supposedly had almost weird comments a couple days before the draft? Well, I don't really love football. Hear about that guy, the Arizona receiver?
Not necessarily.
Yeah,
he's not good though.
He was told. If you can look that up, you may find the quote 4 or 5 days ago. Just in an interview, he supposedly said, "Yeah, I don't really love the game of football." And people are like, "Say that again." You see anything on that, Zach?
Wow.
Yeah, I am starting to see that. Yeah. It says he doesn't watch football. He's not like. So I guess he doesn't like to. Yeah, he doesn't really watch the NFL. He doesn't really like watching film either. I mean, that's somewhat of a red flag. You don't necessarily want that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, and a lot of NFL people say, oh, and they compared it to Hunter, who said, I want to play both ways, or I don't want to play, and that's a good comment,
Oh yeah, the Travis Hunter comment, I would far rather have that. That's the guy that he can't get enough football. He wants more, more, more. I don't want a guy that's had too much and wants less. This sounds more like Johnny Manziel, the zero iPad time.
When you're on a team like McMillan is, and Arizona has sucked every single year.
Yeah.
It is hard to be motivated for that.
But again, the Terry Norvelle quote. What was to be gained by saying that? Did it just come out of his mouth? What? And then say it after you're on a team, not before you're drafting. God almighty.
Yeah, it's hard to see the context.
It's probably
here.
one of those you keep that one within your tight group of people.
Yeah,
friends.
Were you guys surprised? And Zach, you may know more about the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, but a lot of people thought they were going to grab Shador at 21. They went right. Not only did they go buy him, they went a defensive tackle from Oregon. What the hell are the Steelers going to do at quarterback?
Yeah, what do you think that means?
Yeah, and if you remember, yesterday around showtime, I said that I thought they would get the Shador Sanders, but you know what? As I pondered about it and I kept on getting information, it started to sink in that, you know what? I don't think they're going Shador Sanders, and I think they just want to keep improving the team. They look over at their cross-state counterpart, the Eagles, how they made a Super Bowl team, and they did it by putting together an O-line, putting together a D-line, much like the 70s Steelers. So they want to go back to their roots. Cam Hayward, defensive lineman, he's 13 years in the league. They got to get a replacement for him. I think they don't think Shador Sanders is that good. And frankly, I think Shador Sanders' ceiling is somewhere around Jared Goff, Geno Smith, which isn't bad. Don't get me wrong. That's not terrible, but it's not what I want to put my first-round pick on.
No. And Jared Goff, and who was the other one?
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did, and they've both been to Pro Bowls. They're both solid players. I wouldn't mind spending a third-round pick on that guy, but I don't think that he's ever going to be Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Allen, and Burrow. I don't think he's ever going to be one of those guys.
So am I correct? I'm zipping through this first round here. Am I correct? 2 total quarterbacks went, Cam Ward and Jackson Dart, or am I missing one?
That's right. Yeah, I'm also missing.
So 2 total quarterbacks. I'll say this again. Yesterday, when we knew it was going to be pretty much 1, 2, 3, and 4, we knew, and it was Ward, Hunter. Obviously, different team for Hunter, but Ward, Hunter, Carter, and Campbell. It's ironic for me, of those 4 that were pretty in stone. The first guy, if I had to have a question on who I think is going to be the best player in those 4, my biggest question would be Ward. Even though he's the first player taken. I think Hunter's going to be a star. Abdul Carter is a superstar and the big tackle. My biggest question mark would be on Cam Ward of the big 4 that went, the big 4.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. I think it's mostly fair because he's a quarterback.
It wasn't a good quarterback class, right? I mean, obviously now it wasn't a good quarterback class, it looks like.
No, by all accounts, this is one of the weaker quarterback classes we've had in a really long time. I still think that Cam Ward is a really good prospect and can turn out great. He's going to a tough situation. They did add Tyler Lockett. They do have Calvin Ridley, but it's easy to be forgotten about in Tennessee. It's easy to fail in Tennessee. He doesn't have offensive things in place. He's gonna be asked to do a lot in order to succeed, and that's going to be tough.
One cool thing for this summer, the rest of the offseason, the way the Jaguars, this played out for the Jaguars, they'll be one of the 4 or 5 big stories in the summer, and they're never one of the big 4 or 5 stories. This Travis Hunter, unless he fumbles on himself, you're right, over the next couple of years, he will command microphones and TV cameras.
Oh yeah, it was for the Jacksonville sports media. This is the best possible scenario. It can't be more exciting than what happened.
You look at, and people say, well, wait a minute, they've had number 1 guys. Okay, Baselli, oh no, he's a 2. Trevor Lawrence, as big as that was, the 1 of 1, and he was a quarterback. There was no intrigue. That pick was made for them.
Yeah, you knew that was happening on Thanksgiving.
Now the Walker pick the next year, there was a little intrigue.
A little bit.
But Walker being a DT, that once it happened, that didn't bring. He's a DT. He's a DT, for God's sakes.
Right.
This Hunter, and I'll guarantee you, when we're 2 or 3 days from the season opening, and they go, okay, opening week NFL after Labor Day, here we go. What are the big stories? Well, let's keep an eye on Travis Hunter down in Jacksonville because he'll do some stuff in the preseason games, the little bit of preseason, but everybody in the NFL will be watching that first game.
It's going to be must-see TV.
Did he play? Did he play offense? Did he start on offense? Defense? How many plays? How many plays on each side?
Assuming that's a 1:00 Sunday game, when the NFL Red Zone comes on and all the games are on, they're going to be focused. Travis Hunter will be who they are on as soon as it starts.
And how about? Gosh, this is weird for me saying it because I'm not a big gambler. How about prop bets with him?
That'll be interesting.
I mean, he'll have a million prop bets, won't he?
Yeah, you could do both sides. You could do, will he have 10 total catches plus tackles? You could do all types of stuff.
Oh, all kind of stuff.
Yeah. Deflect. Will he get a touchdown and get an interception?
Yeah.
Plus 3,000.
Yeah.
Why not? You can get crazy with it.
I mean, you would think, depending on who does all those things, that he would command the most prop bets ever. Who else plays both ways? And you can put defensive props, offensive props.
Yeah, no one.
Does he mess around? I don't know.
Got a couple of comments.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know his total history well enough because I didn't watch every snap. Did he mess around with special teams at all?
I don't think
he did he?
I don't think so. I can double check and see if he ever made a return at any point, but I don't think so.
A guy asked about a safety from Penn State. I'm not going to try and play. I don't know who Kevin Winston is, just at 70, the 70 pick for the Jaguars. I think Patrick was right, though. They probably will dip a safety, don't you think? The Jaguars will probably dip a safety. They'll grab a safety.
Probably, yeah, probably.
I just don't. I don't want to. I'm never going to lie. I don't know that name from Penn State, but
yeah. I see that he did it in high school, and they talked about doing it at Colorado, but they ultimately decided this guy's already playing offense. And defense.
I don't think I saw him punt return, kickoff return. Unless maybe late in the game they're trailing, they threw him on a kickoff, but no. It'll be interesting. And one good thing about this is, to me anyway, the NFL has a tendency, sometimes it gets stale. All the games look alike. They all start at 103.
Yeah.
And a lot of the offenses look alike, right? If you change the jerseys, you wouldn't know which team is it. This Hunter thing is something different. It's kind of cool. Travis Hunter's whole thing is much more of a college thing than an NFL, but I like the fact it's an NFL thing now.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that most guys probably did in high school. And then when you get to college, you stop doing it. Mm-hmm. But he has never stopped.
Yeah.
And he's just still doing it. And when you're the best player, I mean, he was the best player on his team at Colorado. It's hard to say he's already the best player on the team at Jacksonville, but he's going to be one of the most athletically talented for sure.
It's kind of fun, tongue-in-cheek, but is Travis Hunter's favorite Major League Baseball player Ohtani?
I think he made maybe.
And he wants Ohtani to get back pitching. He wants him to get his arm fixed because Ohtani does it, gets back to hitting and pitching, playing both in the field, right? If he gets back to doing that and he commands a huge double contract, Hunter and his boys are going to ask for the same thing, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And, yeah, I remember he made the comment saying that he thought that what he does in football is more difficult than what Shohei Ohtani does. And he slightly backtracked those and kind of said they're both difficult.
My God, though, how about the marketing? If the Nikes of the world or somebody could get them both on a commercial.
Oh yeah, that'd be have them both doing all four.
Kind of a Bo knows this. How about Ohtani and Travis know offense and defense? That would be big, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It almost feels like that needs to happen. Someone's probably going to try to do something with that.
You would think. Now, that would command a lot of payout to those guys, wouldn't it?
They're not going to do it for cheap.
But you do a marketing campaign combining those two?
Yeah. Yeah, oh God, it would reach every demographic imaginable.
And then you run Bo Jackson in there too at the end of the commercial. Hey guys.
Oh yeah, have him come in.
This is nothing new.
There you go.
This is nothing new.
Yeah, have him come in at the
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, because he did both sports. Yeah.
All right, let's take a break.
Hey, you're cooking with that.
How about that, man? I'm thinking, man. All right, my man. We got our first hour in the books. We'll come back, kick off hour number 2. Brent Beaird will bounce around big SEC baseball weekend, and it will be that way the rest of the regular season. The Gators need to start stacking wins, and there are some other great series. Florida has a big one in Gainesville starting tonight at 6:30. We'll talk about that. Major League Baseball, a couple of neat storylines I want to get to, including a sad storyline. We've talked about the White Sox. Well, they're not the saddest right now in Major League Baseball. We'll get to that in hour number 2. Stay with us right here on the Young and Norvelle Show. Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnik Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnik never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation, pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnik Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnikBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnik is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnikBuickGMC.com. Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
You know, as we welcome you back, agree or disagree with the move the Jaguars made along with the Cleveland Browns? Agree or disagree? It's just kind of fun to have a little stirring. And Zach, I'm hearing a little rock and roll in my ears or something. What do we got there? A little orchestra.
I mean, you never know what we're going to find in the archives, you know?
Just start hitting buttons, kick stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Brent Beaird. Is that Brent Beaird?
Yeah, Brent Beaird is actually playing.
Rocking out some Siberian orchestra there or something. Sounded like it, Brent. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Hey, man. It's last night was certainly interesting.
Sure was, man. Your thoughts?
As it usually was, and we've got another night of it. And to nobody's surprise, guess which 2 conferences dominated? Terry?
Oh, my goodness gracious. Big Ten, SEC, and dadgum, you look around, Ohio State, 4 first-round picks, Georgia 3, Alabama 2, SEC, what was the final count? SEC, Big Ten, do you have it?
Yeah, I do. It was the SEC had 15, which ties the all-time record previously held by the SEC
Yes.
in 2020. And
Yeah.
the Big Ten was 11. Okay.
Wow.
And then you had ACC at 2.
That's the drop-off. Wow.
And the Big 12 had 2. And but Terry, this correlates to what we've been talking about the last few months. And this is why Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti, it's not the whole reason, but it's some of the reason why they're saying, okay, we provide you the best athletes and we provide you the biggest television ratings on something like this. So why should we not be able to take the leadership in what happens with the college football playoffs?
And it's going to happen. I don't know what the time frame is. It's going to happen, and it should happen. It should happen. 48, 64, I don't know. The big boys, they're going to – and you keep following the NFL model. SEC can be considered NFC. Big Ten can be considered AFC. You can chuck them into some divisions in each league, but and that's going to happen. Brent, let's get back. It was kind of neat. There's always a big draft story. It's rarely the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was kind of neat last night. I was down at Sliders, very close to the official draft headquarters, and there was a neat buzz in the area. A lot of people stirring about, and Pat and I, we got off the show at 6. The draft didn't start till 8, but we hung around, had a bite to eat at Sliders, Patrick and I, and kind of hung in that area for a while. It was neat. I'm steadfast in that I would have gone big ugly. I've had fun with the phrase big ugly, big sexy. Obviously, Travis Hunter would be considered a big sexy. They went big sexy. I don't think nothing against Travis Hunter. I don't think it's the right move for this organization, what it needs to fix itself. But you can't argue he's going to be a fascinating ball player to track and see if he can live up to it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a couple things he does that are impressive. One is he makes the game look simple. He makes the game look easy, is one thing. And the other one is, and I'll give, I know I sent this to you, but I give Jay Glazer credit for this. Jay, he said there were basically 3 things that were important. And I really kind of look at this with Travis Hunter. The third one is, are you all in on football? And the reason is these guys have fallen in love with their money. Yeah. They've fallen in love with their NIL, and they don't work. They don't work like they used to. Yeah. But that's one thing that you see in Hunter is he loves the game, and he deserves credit for this. But let me give you a couple of caveats. And knowing you've already mentioned this. Number one, I'm concerned that and help me on this. I'm concerned that they gave away too much.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially for coming up for next year. Yeah. Is one thing. And look, Jaguar fans, they need to enjoy this, but they also need to know that Terry, look, let's be honest here. They need 5 to 10 Travis Hunters. Yes. That's what they need. They don't need just one, okay?
We went over. The Jaguars gave up last night to get the deal. They gave up first round number 5, second round 36, fourth round 126, next year's number 1. That is a haul. They gathered last night from Cleveland, first round number 2, which is Hunter. Fourth round 104, sixth round 200, and then just kept all their other picks. Yeah. So they still have the same amount of picks. The 3 big concerns for me. Number one, I think they could have made a different choice to help what they need help with right now.
No question.
That's one, and I've been a consistent big ugly. I would have gone offensive line. I think their offensive line. I think their offensive line is bad. And you're done fixing it. It is. These are your guys now. Free agency's over. You could get lucky, and grab a 4th round guy. But that's very odd that guy would, a 3rd or 4th round guy would be lightning in a bottle on the offensive line. Agree. Number 2, if the offensive line continues to struggle like I think it will, if you say midway or all the way through next season, damn, we got to fix our offensive line. Well, good luck fixing your offensive line next year without a first-round pick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that's 2. Yeah. And number 3, I'm not good at this, but the bean counters are, and there is a salary cap in the NFL, and the salary cap can be your friend or your foe. I don't know this, but the first thing that came to my mind last night and today regarding the salary cap in the Jaguars, I've been told time and time again that, number one, Trevor Lawrence's big contract starts coming back. They take big hits starting this coming year.
Right.
He starts. There's just no way to fake the math. At some point, you're going to take hits. With that said, the Jaguars are coming up on a salary cap that's going to have a very, 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 very recent number one, Trevor Lawrence, big contract. A very, 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 very recent other number one, Trayvon Walker, big.
Right.
And all of a sudden, a number two. They're going to have a 1, and a 2 commanding big money.
No question.
I got to believe at some point that's going to squeeze your cap, isn't it?
Sure it does. Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, when you pay individual guys a whole lot of money, at some point, you're right. When you do the math, that's going to prevent you to paying some other guys and may prevent you from getting some other guys. But I'm with you, and I don't think we can say this enough. Is what they've got left. They have simply got to address the offensive line.
I would think
simply got to be able to. And I'm with you. Look, I applaud them for getting Hunter, but Terry, I'm with you. Their biggest need would have been an offensive lineman. There's
on this
question
team
about that.
I think on this team, I tell you, we kicked this around, and I don't think unless you're good buddies with one of the hierarchy guys, Cohen, Gladstone, the two coordinators, or Baselli, I don't think you'll ever get this unless you're really tight with these guys. Unless you get it 3 or 4 years down the road, I would love to know, just for curiosity's sake, were the Jaguars blowing smoke with Ashton Genty? And what I mean by that is, had the Jaguars and the Browns not decided to dance together, had that never happened, would the Jaguars have taken Genty at 5? I would just like to know that. Or was that a smoke screen? Would they have traded back? Or would they have said, he's our guy, we weren't lying? I would like to know that down the road.
Well, and look, if they had gotten Genty, Terry, that would have been a bigger risk,
I think so,
than what they did by far.
I think so.
With what they actually did. I mean, now here's the other reality, and I know this has been debated all day here, but when you've got a two-way player like you do with Hunter, I'm Terry, in this league with that brutality that you've got to deal with all the time. I know that will entice a lot of people. They'll get excited about that, but at some point, they may have to make a decision sooner than later on which side of the ball he needs to go to.
And what do you do with him if week 5 rolls around and he's got not a bad, but he's got a tweaked ankle?
Yeah.
Got a little. Do you go, okay, we can't run him on offense. We got to run him just. Or what? It's a whole new animal. It's a lot of fun. I'm with you. They got to go offensive line the next 2 days, if you ask me. Other things from the first round of the draft that happened or didn't happen. I wasn't that stunned that Shedeur Sanders didn't get drafted.
No,
I think he's a guy that can draw a paycheck in the NFL for a long time. But I never thought. I thought he was a good college quarterback. I didn't think he was a star at all. And I'm not anti-Deion. I'm not anti-Shedeur. I agree with that anonymous coach that ripped into him. But the last line said, I also just don't think he's that good. I think he's decent, but I never saw a first round pick in him.
And listen, don't think that didn't get a lot of people's attention.
Sure.
Also, what was said in that quote was that the guy had never seen that much entitlement in a player in his career. And don't think, and look, at this day and age, you've got a lot of GMs and coaches who are thinking, man, I've already got 2 or 3 guys just like that on my team. Do I want to bring another one in here? And Terry, the other thing is about that, and I don't think any of them would ever admit it, is, Deion's still a dad.
Yeah.
Do they want to deal with Deion on on a consistent basis too. So there are a lot of questions about that. Yeah, I was not surprised that Sanders and Jalen Milroe did not go in the first round by any stretch.
You know, we talked about Deion as well. I mean, Shedeur Sanders is 22 years old. I know he's already made some NIL money, but he's now getting his first real job.
Sure,
and he's going to have his own more. Deion needs to let Shedeur be his own man now, right? At some point, Deion, you can't keep taking Shedeur's third strike, right? You got to let him stay in the batter's spot. You can't take his third strike. I was happy. I hadn't seen it yet, and I hope he does it. I was happy that last night Deion didn't get in front of a camera and make an ass and embarrass himself, because I thought he could have done that last night. I thought Deion could have found him a camera and gone full Deion.
Oh, yeah.
I think Deion's got to back out, man. This kid. He's not 12. He's 22.
Sure.
You know.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But see, to your point is, I mean, how good a quarterback is his son? Now, I know Nick Saban said that when he's able to set his feet, he likes his accuracy.
Yeah.
But you've got a lot. And again, you know, did Shedeur play do they play the type of competition that is an issue with that too? Terry, I thought if there was anything, and I was amazed to see this, and you may remember the year, or maybe Zach might remember the year. You know, the Atlanta, if there's anything that tells you why the Atlanta Falcons are who they are, is they actually drafted a Georgia player. And that was a first, help me on the date. Wow. This is amazing. But it was the first Georgia player the Falcons had drafted since it was either 1966 or 96.
How does that happen?
Either one is an incredible indictment, and particularly when after Kirby got there, and my Lord, they had 3 players again drafted from the Georgia defense. Listen, if anything can tell you how bad the Falcons are, that one stat can tell you that.
Jalen Walker, number 15, I think it was, I just saw.
Yes.
From Georgia goes to Jalen Walker, linebacker, Georgia, goes to the Falcons. Wow, wow. They've had that treasure trove of talent sitting in their backyard, the University of Georgia football program, the last 10 years at least. And wow. How does that happen?
Oh, yeah. Well, Terry, that reminds you of one Mr. Smith, who's a GM for Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah.
Who for so many years thought it was genius to draft somebody from Buffalo instead of draft somebody from the SEC.
Zach, you remember that when Gene Smith thought it was just awesome? I think he thought it would make him be smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
He would go lineman, East Carolina or App State, almost in spite of Ohio State or Michigan. Zach, you remember that? This guy would go, Gene Smith.
Yeah, some guys like to prove they're the smartest in the room and just, go out of the way and do things, even though the obvious answer's right in front of you.
We're going offensive guard, Texas, San Antonio.
Yeah, it usually doesn't work.
What about the guy over at Arkansas?
And listen, you've got, for instance, now the Philadelphia Eagles defense is almost all Alabama players.
Yeah, and Georgia. Georgia. Yeah, they added more, and they won a big trophy, I think, the Eagles, with all those Bulldogs.
Now there are a couple of things on here that I wanted to mention.
Go ahead.
That dovetails in what we do, and one of those is now look, people really criticize these college football websites for their 5 stars and 4 stars.
Yeah.
Okay. In the first round of the draft last night, 11 of those guys were 5 stars. 15 of them were 4 stars.
How about that?
And 4 of them were 3 stars. That is 81%. 81% of the first round were blue chip recruits.
Yep.
So with all the criticism that those websites get, they deserve some love after what, because, and look, I'm not saying it's an exact science, but the reality of it is those guys are a lot better at predicting this than people give them credit for.
I'm with you. And you know what? And we want to get some SEC baseball talk before we got to get you out of here in about 10 minutes. I've said for years about those sites and all. Are they perfect? No. But
No.
you know what? In any decision making, give me, if I can gather what I think is legitimate data, I'll take my chances. If you say, Terry, you can pick your roster of college football and pluck the 5 stars you want, and I'll take the 4 stars. I'll take my chance. I'll take my chances with plucking my roster from the pool of 5-star, and you pluck yours from the pool of 4-star. I'll take my chances.
Oh yeah. Well, and Terry too. Another thing that got my attention: Auburn now has not had a first-round pick in 5 years.
Wow.
5 years. The only SEC school with a longer drought's Vanderbilt.
How about that? That is something. Good segue.
Man.
Brent, that's hard to Auburn always has at least a defensive guy that'll bust you in the mouth and go in the first round.
Well, and I think, Terry, I told you, we heard from one of the Auburn media guys who said he didn't think Auburn. Now get this now. He said Auburn will not have anyone drafted in the first 2 days.
That's terrible.
I don't mean first 2 rounds. I mean first 2 days.
That would encompass the first 3 rounds.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. I think Florida Street got snapped last night. They didn't have a first rounder for the first time in a long time.
Good point.
Good segue real quick into SEC baseball. Every weekend is big for the teams trying to get enough wins like Florida. Real quick, we do have one final. Georgia got by Oklahoma earlier today. That series started yesterday. It's now even 1-1. The series is in Athens. Georgia won today 10-9 over Oklahoma. Several big, the A&M Texas is just going to be fun. There's a lot of storylines. That starts tonight in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee LSU, that's 7 versus 6. Alex Box in Baton Rouge. And Florida's got a big one. Florida is at home. First pitch tonight, game 1, 6:30. They host 5th-ranked Arkansas. Arkansas is a perennial top 5 team.
Well, they are.
Florida is 6-12 in the SEC.
Yeah.
The SEC has never had anyone get a regional bid with less than 13 conference wins.
Yeah.
Now, there's talk that Florida, if they could get to 12, their resume would be so good. They play so many good teams.
Sure.
But Florida needs to start stacking wins, man. And they really need to win the series 2 out of 3 over Arkansas. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, I would say that absolutely. And again, they at this point, Terry, they just need and they will, but they just need to get in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether they host or not, they need to get in.
Yeah, they won't host. Florida's best scenario, other than winning the SEC tournament, which is a tall order. It's a tall order. I know the format's changed. Florida just needs to get a bid. They will not host. They just don't have the numbers. Best scenario for the Gators if they could sneak in and just get sent to Tallahassee.
Florida, it would. Yes.
Florida State will probably host if they hold tight.
Right.
And when I say go to Tallahassee, number 1, Florida's beaten FSU 2 out of 3, so they've got whatever that's worth. But that's as close to hosting where you'll have a decent. There'll be a couple thousand Gator fans every game they stay alive over there. So that'd be there. But man, they start tonight. They need to start stacking. They really need to win 2 of 3 this weekend.
Boy, and what they need is along that same line is they either need some of these pitchers to get healthy, or they need some of these pitchers to have the light come on for them and start playing a lot better.
Boy, you look at this is not worth a lot of time, but Alabama will host Missouri. Missouri 0-19.
Terry,
0-19.
Now you remember it wasn't last year, but it was 2 years ago. You remember Missouri didn't win a conference game in basketball.
I remember that. That's tough. That is tough. They're 0-9. They're 12-28 overall. 0-19. Gosh, they can't go 0-30, can they?
No.
You play 30
No,
conference. You got to get
I
one.
wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so. And again, you know, next week is May.
I
It's
know.
hard to believe, but next week is May.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
mentioned the SEC tournament in Hoover.
Yeah.
Terry, the SEC tournament can't be what?
No.
3 weeks away or something like that?
Yeah, about 4. About 3 or 4. Last topic, and we'll get you out of here. Staying with the SEC. I know it's a short sample size, but man, Texas has climbed into the SEC and really represented. You realize Texas baseball, they're number 1 in the nation, and they've been sitting there for a while.
Yeah.
Texas baseball, they host A&M in what's going to be a fun series. The Longhorns are 34-5, number 1 in the country, 16-2 in the SEC. 16-2.
Listen, I know people hate them, and I understand the arrogance and the entitlement there. But boy, oh boy, has anyone come into the league,
man,
and been this? I don't know if I want to say dominant, but I do want to say successful.
Well said.
You're in the playoffs in football. You know, it wasn't a great basketball team last year at Texas, but it wasn't terrible either.
No.
And then baseball is in they're there by themselves. Maybe you do, but I don't remember a team coming into the league. I mean, you think about, who came into the league, South Carolina, Arkansas, Missouri,
A&M. A&M,
and A&M. And listen, none of those teams have come close to testing success.
And Oklahoma, who came in with Texas, I know it's a small sample size. Oklahoma's been average. They've been average. They were They middled around. They're 30-12 in baseball, 11-9. They're decent. Been ranked in the top 20. I do remember too, about 2 years ago when it was all announced, a lot of SEC fans were picking, hey, Texas, settle down, hook 'em horns. You're biting off a different conference now. You ain't gonna be dominating. And I don't know. They may or may not be great in the minor sports, but the ones that we pay attention to, like you said, men's basketball has been a little bit of a hiccup for Texas. They can't quite get it right. But they're not. They weren't terrible. They had a realized player last year, Johnson. So, all right, Brent. Anything else on your notes before you need to get out of here? Anything else we need?
I know we've talked about Georgia a little bit. Kirby's 105-19. He has sent 20 players to the first round, and only lost 19 games.
That's incredible. More first-round players than losses. Do you have that stat that said Georgia could have 15 guys drafted in this draft, and that would pass Alabama in a certain year period, like 5-year period? They've had 100 and something. Georgia might climb to the top of that. It was just an impressive number. I don't know if you've got those.
Well, and so many of those numbers are from defensive players. Now, another thing that really got my attention too, there are still there are Power 4 teams that have never had a first round pick.
Wow.
Colorado, Georgia Tech, Indiana, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma State, Rutgers, SMU, Syracuse, Vandy, and Virginia have never had a number 1 pick. Can you believe all that?
A number 1 overall.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. With 0 NFL first round picks, plural.
Wow. No coincidence why Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia are good in football. They got a lot of good players. They got a bunch of good players. All right, Brent, I think you're up against the time frame. Thank you, buddy, for everything. Have a good, safe weekend, and we'll be getting closer to college football magazines when we visit on Monday. They're getting here.
As a matter of fact, they're basically a month away.
1 month.
Having tracked these things over the years. But, for what you and I do, there's still a lot. And look, I enjoyed the draft the first day. it kind of gets mind numbing by the end of the night and certainly by tomorrow. But there'll be plenty of stuff to talk about as we're still waiting on some of these guys to get drafted, and they're looking forward to that also. But it's still and listen, can I throw one more thing out?
Fire away.
I know people don't like him, but can we quit booing the commissioner as soon as he walks out there? Yes. I mean, look, Terry, the guy's not perfect, but he's got to have done something decent in his career to still hold that job, right?
You know, fans, if anybody ever has to rule against or say anything negative about their favorite team, it sticks forever. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're the bad guy, and you're an idiot forever.
Yeah.
Forever. Good stuff, Brent Beaird. Have a great weekend, buddy.
You too, brother. Talk to you next week.
Our main man, Brent Beaird, adding a lot to our show as always. Let's take a break, come back, and put the landing gear down on a busy day and a busy week of the Young and Norvelle Show. We'll start wrapping things up after this quick timeout. Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnik Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnik never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnik Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave. So I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
All right, let's start wrapping things up. Been a fun show, fun week. We'll have a bunch more on Monday, man, with the second through 7th round will be complete, right? 2 and 3 tonight, NFL draft, and then the rest of the rounds, 4 through 7 on Saturday. We're back here. Terry Norvelle, I want to thank everybody that's made today's show possible. Of course, you folks watching, and also Zach Rothrock producing. Patrick Young on in hour number 1. Brent Beaird, who we just had, in hour number 2. I think the consensus is, man, you got to be a hardcore draftnik to sit in front of that TV the next 2 nights. So wouldn't you say, Zach? I mean, to truly be locked in at every single second of wall-to-wall coverage. And there are guys that do that now.
Would be borderline insane.
There are guys that do that now. They're most likely in their mother's basement, right? Living in the, right? They're down in the basement, but there are guys that do that.
Even if I was in my mom's basement, I would find other things. Like, there's way more things you can do. Way more.
You would think, but there are guys, man, they will wear their jersey. They put that jersey on about noon yesterday, right? Their favorite team jersey.
Yeah.
And, buddy, that thing's not coming off until late.
I just saw a video.
Until they put their Garanimals jammies on.
I saw a video where a kid got a Travis Hunter Jaguars jersey for Christmas a few weeks ago or months ago.
He went
Nostradamus. I guess so. I guess he just knew.
Number 12 and Hunter on the back.
Yeah.
I guess he's going to get 12. Is that what he's going to do? Is it 12?
I would imagine. I don't know.
Didn't he wear 12?
Yeah, he was 12.
Shedeur was 2 and Hunter was 12. And yeah, he'll get 12, right? If some obviously Lawrence is the starting quarterback, you wear 16. So
I think Nick Mullins is currently number 12.
Oh, is that right? Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, I think he can.
Nick, coin toss, 11 or 13.
I think he can part ways with it.
Right? Hey, is that right? Coin toss, Nick. Do you want 11 or 13? Heads or tails? You get 11.
He's number 12. Yeah.
Heads, you get 11. Tails, you get 13. My man, you're done. You're out.
Maybe you can squeeze a couple dollars out of that. Who knows?
How about that guy? And he may be. What if he's one of those? A lot of guys are married to their numbers, man.
Yeah, some of them are. Some of them take it real serious.
He's watching that damn thing last night. He don't care if the team's better. Damn it!
As soon as he saw a trade, hang on. Yes. Wait a second.
Wait a minute. Is that guy at Colorado wears 12? But
maybe he looks as an opportunity to make about $100,000 or something. Who knows?
Hey, kind of a neat baseball game tonight, but again, it's way, way, way late. The Pirates, even though they don't have much storyline, they got Paul Skenes. Paul Skenes and the Pirates go tonight on the West Coast. Skenes versus Yamamoto, Pirates, Dodgers.
Yeah, that's
got to sell out L.A., right? They're defending champions, and they got to get there early, right?
Since it's in L.A., that game should sell out. If it was in Pittsburgh, it would not, and the 30 people there would be chanting to sell the team.
So, looking toward that game, and obviously it's a 10-20 first pitch here or whatever it is. Skenes will be squaring off first batter, probably. Ohtani. He bats leadoff for them, doesn't he?
He definitely does at least sometimes. I think sometimes they do Mookie bats, but a lot.
And the theory is they bat Ohtani 1 because theoretically you might get one extra at bat.
That is the 2016 analytics.
Yeah, that's the theory. But Ohtani. So that'll be fun. I mean, are those the 2 biggest names in baseball right now? I mean, Judge.
Oh, yeah, they got to be.
Who's bigger?
Judge is huge.
Judge is big, but. Even Judge's
Ohtani globally, biggest sports star in the world right now.
And Skenes, I mean,
Skenes huge too. Livy Dunn gives him extra points.
Yeah, and Judge is a big name, and he puts up big numbers. But if Judge was in Milwaukee, he wouldn't be anywhere. He's big because he's in New York too.
Right. Oh yeah, that's a big part of it.
Ohtani, I know LA is a monster market, but Ohtani in anywhere would still be a monster, and Skenes is Skenes. Those are the 2 biggest names in baseball, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ohtani internationally has got to be the biggest global star we have right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That'll be fun tonight, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, baseball, they need some matchups and some moments to kind of take center stage. And
yeah,
and if you can steal a headline or two while the draft's going on, yeah, I mean, yeah.
And I just don't see Pittsburgh unless major ownership change happens.
They need a new owner if they want to keep Skenes.
Yeah, and my God, for Skenes and for the good of baseball, he needs to get out of Pittsburgh, and he will. Right? He'll get through this contract, and one of the big, he's got to get out of there. His career is mirroring, and I know we're barely getting started, but man, it looks like Nolan Ryan. And you're probably too young to. You're
a little bit.
Nolan Ryan's such a great pitcher, and pitched for so long, and over 5,000 strikeouts, and I mean the Ryan Express, the fastball, and the big curve. The biggest blight on Ryan's Hall of Fame, and I mean some people call him the best pitcher ever. He played on bad teams for a long time. He made some playoffs here and there, but he was I say it all the time. Nolan Ryan, you can look it up, notorious complete game, lose 2-1, strikeout 12.
Yeah, I think he's the all-time strikeout leader.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah. But he would pitch his guts out, and a lot of the teams he played for weren't good. And he'd lose 3-2 or 2-1, go the whole game. You know, Ryan, most no-hitters, 7, by the way. 7 no-hitters. The next closest is 4. Ryan had 12 one-hitters.
Yeah.
Digest that for a moment. He had 12 freaking one-hitters.
Yeah, probably a lot of complete game shutouts, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I mean, he's I've always heard the legends that he is the best of all time. And so, yeah, I mean, that could be where Skenes is heading. Just
got to get out of there.
They can win about once a week when he pitches. That's about it.
He's got to get out of there. Now, part of Ryan made some playoffs. Houston might have gone to a World Series one year. One of the things, though, he's a Texas guy. I mean, Texas, I think from Round Rock, Texas guy. You hear him talk, Texas. So he manipulated his career. He played for the Astros a lot and the Rangers. He wanted to be in Texas. So, when his contract came open and he was a free agent, he kind of – so a little bit of that could have been blamed on him. And Texas and Houston weren't always great when he played for them. But he also pitched for the Angels, I think, California Angels as well. But he manipulated staying in Texas a lot. But I hate to see Skenes wasting innings and games and starts because he's already he lost last week. What was it, like 2-1, lost, went 6, struck out 8. And you can't score me 3 runs.
No, they literally cannot.
What was the deal with the Pirates last week? They were shut out 3 times last week.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I mean, they've got a AAA roster at best.
Yeah, isn't that terrible? Now, the team that has the worst futility going on, I don't know if you're aware of this. We touched a little bit. Obviously, the White Sox last year were terrible. I mean, they were terrible, the White Sox. They are terrible this year. They're 6-19. They did win their first game of the year, but they're 6-19. They're not. You know who the worst team is? They lost a doubleheader yesterday. The worst team in baseball. Have you seen the Colorado Rockies?
Oh God, yeah, they're terrible. And everyone goes to their park and just blasts home runs.
They just lost a doubleheader. They are 4-20.
Nice.
That is a 167 winning percent. Let me say that again. They are 4 wins and 20 losses. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They've lost 9 of their last 10. Zach, they're 4-20. I looked it up. They're in different leagues, obviously, National League, Colorado, American League. But they do play. You play everybody at least once.
Yeah, one series.
They do play. The White Sox and the Rockies play 4th of July weekend. That could be they could have horrible records when they face each other.
Do you think that Colorado will have double-digit wins by then? Potentially.
I guess July is a little ways away, right? They've got all of May.
Yeah, they should.
Can we say 11, 12, 13?
Yeah, probably not more than that.
How about that?
Pace.
They are 12 and we haven't even hit the quarter pole yet. What's the quarter pole in baseball? About 40 games? 4 times 4 is 16.
Roughly.
Yeah, and they play 162. So we're not even close to the quarter pole. They're 12 and a half games out. 12.
Yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah, that's gonna be tough to climb out of that hole, especially when you don't have any pitching, anything like that.
And just to make it worse for damn Colorado, the National League as a whole is a bear. I mean, there are some good baseball teams in the National League.
Really top heavy.
Yeah, and obviously you're going to play your National League people more, your division more, your league more than the others. You play the other side once. You play at least one series. The Mets are really good. The Phillies are really good. The Cubs are a little surprised. Hell, the Cubs I think just swept the Dodgers. And then you look at
Dodgers are only third in their division right now.
You're damn right. How about that? The Dodgers are clearly third right now behind San Francisco and San Diego. The Padres and Giants are ahead of the Dodgers, and the Dodgers actually have been sitting in third for about 2 weeks now. This isn't like they just lost a bunch of games. The National League's a bear, man.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's clearly the better league at this point in time, and so it's going to be even tougher for a team like your Pittsburghs and your Colorados to climb out. I mean, Pittsburgh has literally no shot to be competitive at all.
Isn't that terrible?
This offense. Yeah, there's no way that it's good for the league to just have a death sentence to be sent there, basically.
Another thing I'm tracking because I'm Gator Terry. His numbers have gone down in minor league baseball, but at some point, the Kansas City Royals, they have a terrible offense. They are 12-14. They can't score any runs. At some point, they got to just say, it may be after the All-Star break, but they've got to say, hey, bring Ohtani. Bring Caglione up. You got to just say, it may be over.
Honestly, I thought that would happen at the beginning of this season. I'm kind of surprised.
He's only played like 16 games I saw above Double-A. So
yeah,
you don't want to ruin a guy, spook him. But I would imagine
crushing the baseball.
Yeah, I think his numbers have slowed down a little bit in the minors. But at some point, you got to run him up after the All-Star game if you're Kansas City.
Yeah, that's probably about when you do it.
And they're miserable in offense. They got Bobby Witt Jr., and that's about it.
Ellie De La Cruz can steal bases.
Yeah, well, he's with Cincinnati, right?
Oh, gosh, yeah, you're right. I was thinking of how they had Jonathan India, who's not even there anymore.
Yeah. How about India's with India, the former Gator, is with Kansas City.
Yeah, with he
got traded for
the other Gator,
Brady Singer. Yeah. Reds and Singer's a good player. He's a good pitcher.
Oh yeah, he's had a real good career.
Yeah, he's good. But speaking of De La Cruz, that guy's a highlight film, man.
He's crazy.
God.
Yeah, he's got to be the fastest player, and definitely in the league today.
He's 6'7", right? Like 6'6", 6'7", big,
something
tall.
Like definitely 6'6", definitely real and long, like arms.
Yeah, and you know who else is a little bit like him? We just bashed on him, but that O'Neal Cruz with the Pirates.
Yeah, he's their one good batter, basically.
Yeah, and man, they both got to get out of Pittsburgh, right? They've got to get out of there.
Either that or ownership's got to change and bring other players to them, one or the other.
Yeah.
And it feels like the first is more likely.
The Braves, obviously, tough to overcome an 0-7. What were they, 0-7, 0-8?
To begin the season, yeah.
Yeah. So the Braves now have gotten it where they're 4 behind 500. Their first goal is to get to 500. They're 10-14, the Braves. 7.5 games out. And the Braves actually have been playing better, but they can't get any closer because the Mets won't lose. The Mets are on a 7-game winning streak. They're 8-2 their last 10. The Braves are 6-4 their last 10, but they can't gain any ground on the Mets.
Yeah, but it feels to me, just looking at those two franchises, though, I mean, it feels like at some point that's going to flip, and the Braves are going to come out on top, and the Mets are going to collapse.
You think so?
I mean, it just feels like that's what happens pretty much every year. I mean, when it comes like this where the Mets do get off to a hot start,
do you still think the Phillies are the team to beat in that division?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say they're not.
I know the Mets took a series from them recently, but they'll play a lot because they're, what do you play, like 19 times against your inner, or 13 or something?
Yeah, close, around 20. So I think maybe the 19 number.
The Phillies have been the class, right, of the East. The last couple years.
For sure.
The only scary part about the Phillies, they're all starting to get old. The Schwarbers and the Harpers and missing a couple guys. Trey Turner, I think, is one of their guys. They're all starting to get early to mid-30s.
Yeah, and that's why I still feel like the Braves could go on a run, at least for a wild card spot, if not even just straight up dethroning the Phillies eventually.
I need to get back up to Atlanta, man. I went to see the Braves first time ever at the Battery last year. Went up and visited some friends for the weekend, and we caught the Nationals and the Braves. I don't go to many Major League games, but from what I was talking to people, all these new parks are built like the Battery. There's this just massive entertainment outside. You know, it's 1,000 restaurants and 1,000 bars, and I'm telling you, the money they're raking in that area. And I was told, and we went to a Saturday night game in August, so it was a summertime. The Braves were good, but asking around the locals when we were messing around at bars and restaurants before we went into the game, they're like, no, this particularly on the weekends, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's probably, I think a guy told me there'll be 20, 25,000 people right here in the area of the Battery. They don't even think about going into the game.
Oh, yeah.
Don't even think about it. But, man, they bring in money in that area. And I was told all your Major League Baseball parks, all the modern ones, that's how you have to build them. You don't build the stadium and a bar or two. Nope. It's a entertainment complex outside. Food and drink.
Yeah, I mean that's. It kind of sounds like that's sort of more or less what they're going for with the downtown area here, which will be really. I think it's going to be really exciting when they get it finished.
Yeah, definitely. I'm showing 5 minutes, but I'm having a little connection issue. Are we inside?
We got about 90 seconds. About a minute
okay, yeah. I lost connection here, and it showed me. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Fun Friday. We covered a lot of topics. Hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, draft number 1. When we get back together Monday, man, we'll have a lot of Jaguar draft. There'll be a lot of new names.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole draft will be wrapped up. Looking forward to that as we kick off a Monday edition starting Monday at 4 o'clock. Hope you can join us. For all of our guests today, and, of course, Zach Rothrock, I'm Terry Norvelle. Have a great, safe weekend. We'll get back together Monday at 4 for the next edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation, pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.